Hello, sir. My name's Zakari. I'm from Detroit.
Your name's what? Sorry.
Zakari.
Kari?
My question about what kind of backpacking off of what he said in the world and how the country is right now. We have all these cities that are chaos and rioting and fighting, just like you said. And there's pressure on both sides of sending the federal government in to solve this problem and take all these people out. And then there's pressures on the other side to just let these cities do what they want and let the local government figure it out. And there's obviously arguments for both sides, so I kind of just want to know how the Libertarian Party feels about that, of solving national crises like this in cities that are rioting and people are fighting. Because when I was in Detroit, I had far-right individuals brandish a firearm at me, and then I had Antifa put my address on the internet and show up at my house. And what do we do as a party to solve this issue when things have gotten so tense and hot in these cities as a federal movement and as a bigger government, the upper government part of it? What do we do about these intense local issues and these people's lives that are in such conflict?
Absolutely. So let's look at the conditions that led to this first, Kari. We have federal control of what our policing looks like in our communities. Well, again, it didn't take a genius to show us what federal control of something would lead to. Federal control of policing has led to the war on drugs. It has led to the military surplus program, where our police departments are not only given military equipment, but they're given military training from military contractors on how to use military equipment for military applications, and then they're sent to go police our streets and neighborhoods, and not expected to have that training and that equipment affect how they deal with the public. We have civil asset forfeiture, where the government steals money from you if you're accused of a crime, even before you're convicted. The time when you could have actually used your money to be able to pay for your defense, and they use your own stuff to help pay for your prosecution. And if by some miracle you're still found not guilty or the charges are dropped, you then have to pay money you don't have to sue the government for your own stuff back, even though it was just proven in court that they never should have taken it from you in the first place. So we would end that plan as well. You have no-knock raids. You have mandatory minimum sentencing. You have the school-to-prison pipeline. You have this massive military police complex. All of this has come from the federal government being involved in policing. Now, here is how the rioting that we've seen has been fostered and to some extent manufactured by the people in positions of power. And this is why I'm glad when I see Boot Boys and when I see Black Panthers and NFAC and I see people at these protests armed, I'm very happy, because a lot of what I'm about to talk about doesn't happen because the conditions aren't right for it. When unarmed protesters show up to protests, the police concentrate all of their forces where that protest is happening. All of their personnel, almost all of their personnel, is put around that. And what happens? The very second that they go past the curfew, or they break a noise ordinance, or whatever other contrived reason they can come up with, now they're firing tear gas. Something they can't do in foreign countries to enemy combatants, because that violates the Geneva Convention, but they can do it here to you, the taxpayer who pays their bills. And they go and they get the pepper balls and the tear gas, and they tase people and they shoot people and they lock them up and violate their habeas corpus. There are people that were held in New York City for weeks without even a stated reason for arresting them. And they do all of these things. And often those protests turn into riots because people who showed up angrily but peacefully, angrily protesting police brutality, are now being brutalized by the police. Wonder of wonders, that leads to bad things. But what also happens? The police are all here, and the entire rest of the city that they're supposed to have jurisdiction over, the city that they often have disarmed through gun control, is now left completely out in the open for opportunists to show up to loot and to pillage and to rob. People that don't give a crap about police brutality, people that don't care about the Black Lives Matter movement or the Boogaloo movement or anything else. They're there for their Lego set that they didn't want to pay for. And so they show up and they're stealing and they're robbing small businesses and homeowners who can't defend themselves because of gun control. And then the police who created those conditions from the beginning all the way to the end show up, their government officials show up and go, look at this chaos. You people wanted us to be accountable, and now look what's happening. They're rioting in the streets. We need more power. We need more money. We need more military equipment. We need more militarized training. We need less accountability. We need to be able to squash these terrible anarchist rioters before they ever even start. And a scared public that just watched their city burn to the ground often says, okay, fine, I guess that's the way that we're going to go. Some would say that that is malfeasance. Some would say that that's just ineptitude. I tend to think that they are in on it. Either way, they have to go. And that is how you fix this problem. You fix it by getting rid of the people that led to these conditions and fostered them to happen in the first place. So I hope that answered your question. Thank you.